The other day, I had a shroom trip. At this point, I don't really calculate how long of a time goes in between when I do magic mushrooms, but this was not this past Monday, but the Monday before. I did psychedelic mushrooms again, and I'm very knowledgeable about them and their properties. And now I have started to realize that every time I do them, I can go in with a question that I've been having a hard time answering, and they're going to show me the answer. And that's great because using them as a tool for accessing my inner knowledge has really helped me answer those questions without needing psychedelic mushrooms. However, this one question that I had the other week was, what is my definition of home? I had no idea what it was because if you've watched, I think, my previous video, I'm going through a transitional period, you will understand that recently life and just conscious, like just collective is what I'm looking for. Collective energy that has been going on has been this transitional period. And it's not just me that feels it, it's a lot of other people that feel it as well. And a lot of people tell me that they were happy that I really made that video because they didn't understand that other people were feeling exactly what they were feeling. So I would recommend you check that out, but you really don't need to preface this video. However, I'm saying that to say that my lease ended in my last apartment, and I had literally been looking since May, trying to figure out where I was gonna move to, and I had found a place that I liked, but it wasn't like this is it, this is my spot, this is exactly what is meant for me, and which is what I'm honestly realizing now was the reason why I didn't get it and I was denied from it, is because my heart wasn't telling me yes. At the time, I was very disappointed, very upset about why I didn't get that space that I thought that I wanted so badly, and it was because I didn't want it. It was not in alignment with me and my desires and my needs at the time. So that's why I didn't get it. But anyway, after that happened, I had a hard time establishing what home was to me and what I wanted out of a home. Because it's like, in order to manifest, as I talk about frequently on this channel, it's like, all right, you take what you want. And for me personally, I journal, I script, I daydream, and I like to do affirmations. I need to be better at them, but those are my main tactics for doing that, manifesting. And it was so interesting because this time I did not know what I wanted. And it's just like, why? It's like, I know I want a place to live, but it's like, what type of place? Do I want a house? Do I want a townhouse? Do I want an apartment? Do I want a loft? How long do I want to be there? Where do I want to be? How much do I want to pay? How big do I want the space? All these questions that was like, I literally did not have the answer to. I would look up, apartment complexes, and when I would see one, I would be able to see myself living there, but not really feel it. Not really, like, I would daydream about it, but it's not something that's, like, really keeping me awake at night. In a good way, it just wasn't a passionate feel towards the space that I would want. So, yeah. That was really frustrating because it's like, for me to be such a certain person and a very assertive person as well, for me to not know what I want really had me confused, really had me upset, because I'm like, why can't I figure it out? And it was a blockage that we'll come to talk about in a second. But it was just very interesting, a very, very different kind of problem. Especially also because the fact that I had prepared months in advance. My lease ended at the end of July. I had been looking since, I said May earlier, but I think it was since like April. I had been looking for a new place to live and applying and, just trying to fill around the city of Atlanta. But yeah, so anyway, I go into this shroom trip and I'm like, what is home to me? And I'm here in this very room with my one friend. Actually, well, they're all three friends now. It was my first time meeting two of them, but all four of us were just sitting on this couch and we were just talking. And the more we were just talking, I was just like in my head just thinking, now something interesting happens when I take psychedelic mushrooms, right? Every time I take them, well, let's not say every time, but normally when I take them now, I get this very like uncomfortable feeling. And I think it's because now, instead of like tripping on mushrooms, instead of like going in to, have fun and have like a rave kind of situation going on, I really take them as like an herbal supplement, as a vitamin, as a learning lesson. It's like, I take them as therapy. That's what I really take them, as a holistic form of therapy, because that's really what they are. Magic mushrooms are really going to show you whatever it is that you need to see at that point in time in your life. Just side note, for example, it was really funny because when I went to Hawaii for my 21st birthday in the middle of June, I went with me, my friend AB, and our friend Jay. Now, Jay had never really did shrooms like that before, so she didn't really know what to expect, and we didn't want to preface her in advance because she was just like, don't tell me. Like, let's just see how this plays out. Now, when I tell you Jay, I love Jay. She's a very masculine presenting woman, and she's very, you get like, if you see her, you'll be like, yeah, this nigga does not cry, right? She was on shrooms, and just, she like, it wasn't even like she was crying, it was like her eyes were leaking. She was like getting so frustrated because for somebody to be this very tough presenting person, for somebody to be like, like not hard or anything, but just very certain in the way that they present themselves in this masculine viewpoint, she was mad as hell that her eyes kept crying and she didn't understand it. And me and AB, we were just looking at her like, yep, go ahead and let it out. And I was like, when was the last time you cried? And she was like, nigga, years. And I'm like, that's exactly why you're crying, because the shrooms are going to tell you exactly what it is that you need to hear. I need to stop. I don't know what to really call them besides shrooms. Sorry if you guys hear clanking. It's my crystals. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I'm just saying that to say they're gonna show you exactly what it is that they need to show you. And that's what happened with me. I was sitting down on the couch and I was staring up at the ceiling, and I was just like, and of course the ceiling, waving and whatever. And I was just like, what is home? And then it was just like, I am home. Like, it's me. It's my body that houses this soul, or this soul that houses this body, however you prefer to believe it. It's me. And it was a very interesting viewpoint, because I think for so long it's been like, you tie home down to a specific location, like a location that is gonna be there, like the house that I'm in right now. Like, this is somebody's home, But it's like, I really feel like your home is just supposed to be like the external embodiment of who you are as a person. And so for me to have to manifest the place that I really like, the physical embodiment of like me, I would need to figure out, for one, realize that I am home. And it's very dependent upon me, how I feel about myself, how I present myself, what I put into my body. That really is what's going to stabilize me to be on a certain level of vibration to meet the one, meet the one, meet the crib, the loft that I truly want. A loft is what I've been manifesting. That's what I have finally decided that I really want, is a loft. But yeah, so I was just like, I am home. And it was so interesting because due to the fact that my whole life, home has kind of been always something that, you view as like a house. I felt I don't know how to explain this, but like I felt like the outline of my body. Like I felt like, you vacuum seal like a piece of meat, and it's like, you guys get it, like I was the meat. And it wasn't like I was like encasing myself in something, but it was like I could feel like the detail. It's like how you draw a house. It was like my body, I don't know how to, you guys get it. It was like my body, and it was just like, oh, like I am home. Like, I don't know how to, you guys are following. My audience is cool. I trust that you guys are following me right now. But yeah, it was just a very immense realization, because I was like, wow, no matter where I go, I am always going to be at home. I think that's what it was that really had me like, oh, okay, so this is, you know what I'm saying, like, this is it, this is this, and then this is this, and okay, that's, everything is connected, everything comes full circle, and I am home. It was a great realization, because it made me feel like I could really pursue a nomadic lifestyle, which is something that I have thought about for a minute. I've been researching van life for a long time at this point. It's been like over 2 years for sure. Researching van life. There was one point in time on my channel when I was doing my Depop content. If you guys have been with me for that long, shouts out to you. But back when I was doing my Depop content, I had this dream of getting a van, renovating it, making it my own, and driving to all of the states and thrifting like unique thrifting unique clothes and items from like hella thrift stores in every state in the country, and like, upcycling, reselling on well, at that point it would really be a website. I wouldn't even use Depop anymore, but that was like a really big goal of mine. And I think just like me feeling like I have to be in one place, not even like necessarily stay there all the time, because if I'm gonna do one thing, I'm gonna travel, but like me feeling this like pressure to stay in one spot, especially in Atlanta, which is where I was born and raised. That was always kind of like, I don't want to say an issue, but kind of just something that was just in the back of my mind. Like, I can go all over the place, but I'm always gonna come back here, which is like, oh my god, it's so like not true. Like, it's a very limited belief, because I be when at my pole dancing studio. I remember my pole mom told us about this girl that she used to pole, who actually just up and moved to Costa Rica, and now she poles on a coffee farm, and she just be out there pole dancing and coffee, and it just, be doing whatever it is that you need to do and taking care of coffee beans. And I was like, wow, like, I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to be a citizen of this country, of this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to like be perceived most of the time. Like, really, this channel is just for me to talk, and just like, it's really just for me to talk, and like, if people agree, they agree. If they disagree, they don't. Either way, I'm gonna be good. But, I think it's cool that some people can relate to me, but it's like, I don't need that. Most times I really just be like, I don't really want to be perceived. Because to be perceived most of the time really just means that people are forming their own opinions of you in their brain. And it's like, you haven't even met me. You haven't even really, y'all experienced my energy over this camera, but to experience my energy in person is completely different. For one, the main thing I always get is, wow, you're actually really short. Like, I did not expect for you to be this short. And that really, that right there, just, can we talk about that for 1 second? My height, I'm 4'10" and a half, 4'11". Some may even say 5 feet. They don't. But that's my height, right? The way that I am in person, I do not, like, my energy is just never, it's not that short. It was so interesting. I'm going to tell y'all a story about perception. At A&T, North Carolina A&T State University, that's where I went for my freshman and sophomore in college until I dropped out. But during that time period, I was doing a lot of poetry, a lot of competition poetry, a lot of just performance poetry. And I ended up becoming the North Carolina A&T State University Aggie Poet Laureate. That is long. I could have shortened that a lot. But I was a Poet Laureate for my entire sophomore year being there. And the leader of our creative writing department, I hope I said that right. I think that there's a more official term for that. She was my, I worked with her for a lot of things in relation to poetry. She was also the teacher in a lot of my classes, but she was amazing poet, amazing person, amazing teacher. She was also blind. So she never, like, of course, like, knew how I looked. And I remember after I had won the Aggie Laureate medal and stuff like that, she told me to give her a hug. And this was like months after this was a minute into my college career. And I remember I gave her a hug and she was like, wow, like, you're so short. And I was just like, she was like, you're not, but you're not short, like, you're not short at all. And it's like, perception, just very, very interesting. But yeah, I'm 4'11". It's so funny. Me and Kai Foster were the same height. Hey, girl. Hey. But it don't, like, I don't know. It's just very interesting. I barely see people that are my height. But anyway, yes, I am home. Me and my 4'10" body, size 7 in women's shoe, it's home. And that's one of the greatest realizations that I could have came across at this very point in time, because it's just like, when you feel like there's nothing that you can really do, the only thing that you really can do is return to self, really reflect on self, check in with self, see what's going on in there, and work on it from what you come to realize. Just work on it. I love it here. Learning how I express gratitude every day, but learning how to not get so caught up in, like, results is something that I'm working on. I launched my brand. What's today? Sunday. So I launched my brand yesterday. I'm super excited about that. We're gonna sell out. Okay, we're gonna sell out within the next few days. I'm claiming that shit right now. But I'm very grateful for all the love and support that I've received on that. I worked hella hard with my brand. I really admire it. It feels like my first child. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. I definitely recommend. The words on the shirts are actually my poetry. But yeah, like, even with that came me expecting certain results, and it's like, when some of them didn't happen, it's like, you really have a choice. You can really sit there and be, like, upset, but it's at the same time, it's like, bro, like, so much has happened, so much positivity has come, just even from that, just in general. Like, this upcoming Saturday, I'm doing my first pop-up shop, and it's at like a pop-up, I don't know what that's called, it's like an event where multiple vendors pop up and stuff like that. So I'll be in Atlanta there. I'll put the flyer somewhere on the screen. But yeah, if you guys want to come through, support, check me out, because we're going to sell out online very soon. And you're not going to be able to get it because, it won't be there. So if you're going to be in Atlanta, I would definitely recommend you slide. But yeah, so I'm just saying that to say, results aren't everything. It's very interesting how, like, I know we talk about the journey, be grateful of the journey, look around, smell the roses, but it very much is that, because it's like, even when you reach a certain destination, I hate to say it, but a nigga be looking like, what's next? And it's just like, oh, like, that's just so because it's like, I feel like I am in the position that I'm in right now for a reason, and I am constantly learning every single day what that reason is, and, like, how can I better myself and move forward. But not even better myself and move forward, not even just that, but better myself and still be present, because it's like, even though I be uncomfortable, like, a lot, and that's something that I talk about. Like, I've gotten better. I went to hypnotherapy for the first time in a few months on Friday, so that situation, my uncomfortability has gotten a lot better. But whenever I feel uncomfortable, I'm just like, what is this trying to tell me about myself? Like, for so long, I would go to sleep and I had back pain. Like, my bed was, like, too firm. Then I got a mattress topper and it was too soft. And it was like, I just felt like I wouldn't be able to find the right bed for me. I'm still looking, but, like, I don't know. I feel like even the pain I get in the morning from that is symbolic to just something that has a deeper meaning in my life right now. So yeah, speaking of, I went to hypnotherapy the other day. Super enlightening. I love my hypnotherapist. She's super helpful. I'll put her information on the screen because bro, like just I thoroughly enjoy learning things about myself, and learning things about myself through other people as well is hella interesting. Like the stories that y'all have come to me and shared. What? You like people out here are being able to retire early because hey, yo, that's how I felt on shrooms and it changed my life. This is how I felt in hypnotherapy and it changed my life. Yo, I meditated the other day and let me tell you why that shit was dope. And it's like people are actually like going and like venturing into these spaces that I be talking about and really changing their life. Like that shit is different. That shit is cool as fuck. So, thank you, thank you, thank me. That's really it. But I am home. I am still searching for the physical embodiment of just that, and I know it when I'm gonna see it. I know that I'm going to know that this is it. My next place is gonna be a loft. My hypnotherapist taught me something the other day about putting your hands on your heart and just saying, heart tell me yes and heart tell me no. Let's say like you're going apartment shopping like me. You're gonna know from example, and everybody has their own own memories of like this, but when you're looking for something and it's like, I'm looking for a car, I'm looking for a house, I'm looking for a dog, and you're looking and you're looking and you're like, oh, these are nice, I can see myself living here. But then it's like, oh, there's this one, and it's like, yeah, like you don't have to question it. There's no back and forth. Like the other day, I actually found a Craigslist listing for somebody who, it's a loft in Midtown, and they had great prices. It would kind of be like a 6-month lease, and it was a great price, and it was by a private owner, which is kind of what I wanted because apartment complexes be requiring too much at this point. Like, why do you want me to make? Hold on. I wanted to apply somewhere, and I asked them, there's something you could do where it's like, if you, like me with my YouTube income and stuff like that, it's hard for them to be like, they always be like, you gotta have one type of revenue coming in that can cover like all of your rent for a month, and it's got to be 3.5 times the rent, whatever. But it's like, for me, my channel just blew up like 8 months ago, so I don't have 2 years worth of tax returns to prove to you that I can afford this apartment. I can, but it's like, even with the documentation that I give y'all with my bank statements, y'all still be tripping and they still be trying to deny me. So there's this option that you can do at some places where it's like, if you have like a 14-month lease and your amount is like $1,700 a month, if you have enough money saved in your savings, like a savings account that covers the entire 14-month lease, they'll approve you and you can pay for it like that. So let's just say like it's $25,000 that they want you to have in a savings account. This lady told me her complex requires that you have 25,000, which is 1,700 times 14 months, whatever it might not be. I'm just loosely saying this, but she said you gotta have 25K and then times that by 3, so you gotta have 75,000, and then you gotta prove that it's been in there for 3 months and that you've only been adding to that money, not taking away from it. And I was like, I was literally finna, I wasn't gonna curse her out, but I was gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you require somebody to, in it, bro? It was just a lot. And I'm just like, I understand Atlanta, it's a lot of scamming ass niggas in Atlanta, but like, do I look like I scam? Like, I don't even give off that kind of energy. Like, it's really not that deep. Like, it's not. But that was irritating. not gonna lie, that was irritating. But I'm just saying. I forgot what I was talking about before that. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The heart tell me yes, heart tell me no. Yeah, when it comes to that, it was just so interesting because I was in trance in the hypnotherapy session, and she was like, put your hands on your heart and tell your heart to tell you yes. And it just felt like my whole chest just like lurched forward. Like, yes, this is it. And I know that's how it's supposed to feel. it's going to feel when I find the space that's right for me. There's really no point in worrying. It's just so interesting how we sit here and be like, yeah, everything's gonna work out the exact way that it's meant to, but we still choose to worry. And I've really been evaluating my emotions recently, because more than ever I've been really realizing that everything is a choice, bro. It's like, if I drop a plate and it breaks and I have food on it, it's like I could really choose to get upset. And it's like, what is getting upset about it gonna do? Like, it's not gonna make that shit come back together and end up perfectly back in your hands. It's not gonna reverse time. It's not gonna, like, it's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna serve you. And it's like, in some cases, yes, get that anger out, because recently I gotta do this, and I gotta film myself doing this. I want to go to a rage room, and it was so interesting because at first I seen rage rooms on TikTok, and I was just like, what's the point in this? Like, I didn't understand. Like, I didn't think it was stupid, but I was just like, okay, like, y'all just want to go and punch holes in the wall. Like, I don't get it. But then I had a breakdown. This was a few months ago, actually. Then I had a breakdown, and it was like, all I wanted to do was, like, scream into a pillow. And I was doing that, and I was thinking, I was like, how much more of this energy is inside of me just waiting to be let out, you know? And it's like, instead of waiting for it to come out when I do simple stuff like dropping a plate and breaking it in the kitchen, how about I just let it out in advance so that I'm able to approach little things that might have pissed me off in the past a lot better and with a lot more sense and more reasonable. Like, why would I not want to do it like that? I'd rather take the easier route than just let it build up and honestly overreact to things that really don't need that kind of reaction. With my last video, there was a part in there where I went and corrected, like, I don't know how to put it, like, corrected or, like, checked myself. I don't want to say that at all. But I was basically just saying that while I was editing that video, I realized that a lot of it kind of sounded like me complaining. But it was very valid still. And a lot of people were, like, basically, like, uplifting me for checking myself. And I understand why. You know, that was a great thing for me to do. But, like, at the same time, it's like the way that I felt while recording the original video was very valid. And it was like, I still needed to let out that emotion. And even if it meant sound ungrateful as fuck, then that's just what it's gonna be. Like, and that's not gonna last for long. It's easier for me to look back and be like, oh, like, wow, like, this was a very lack mindset. But it's like, at least I don't have that still inside of me. At least it's out there and it's done. It's not coming back. Because if not, it would have just festered. It would have just festered. And while I was editing, that was a different version of me. That was a different version of me than what, you know, the version of me that was filming. It's so interesting. So interesting. Like, even me just looking back at not even old pictures. Like, I'm talking about pictures of me before I cut my hair. I'm talking about pictures of me right after I cut my hair. It's very interesting to look at it and be like, that was a different version of me. I feel like every single second of every day I am becoming. Yeah, that sounds right. Becoming. I've also had this obsession with the word being recently. And the reason why is because I've really just been wanting to be. And that in its simplest form. Like, I want to be left alone. I want to just, like, be. Like, I don't want to feel attachments to people. I don't want to feel like... sometimes I just don't want to be involved in anything outside of myself. Sometimes I really just... Look, when I buy my one-way ticket to Hawaii, I don't want to hear shit. I don't want y'all to act like y'all didn't see this coming, because I reference Hawaii entirely too much for no one to be expecting this. When I dip... it's going to be great content. But I feel like when I move to Hawaii, I'm going to be like... It's literally just me and this camera. It's really going to be just me. But it'll just be me and this camera when I do choose to film, I will probably forget that I have an entire audience. Like, I will probably just be like out there being. Like, that's exactly what it is, just being. And I feel like Hawaii felt very detached. I think that's why I like it so much. I think that's why I like it so much. Because I would always be like, it's something about Hawaii. It's something about it that makes me want to go back. That, you know, just makes me, like, I feel like there's something there for me. And I feel like it's because as I was, like, there and in the hotel room, I remember one side is a mountain and the other side is the beach. Well, if you're not looking at a mountain from a high standpoint, you're looking at the ocean. It's like, it really felt like my own little world there. And me is land all around me. Like, you gotta drive far as hell to get to a beach. And it's like, even then, the coast goes on forever. But it's the fact that I could see, like, the edges of the island itself. Like, Hawaii was just different. Hawaii was different. And I am in love with it. And when I go back, nobody better be surprised, okay? I honestly want to host a spiritual retreat there this New Year's. So probably like very end December, early January. I am speaking that into existence. I would love to have like a group of like 5 or 6 people, and we go to Hawaii, get a big Airbnb. Well, actually like a big Airbnb, but like on the main, like the giant island, the one that's just, like very spiritually in touch, and there's a lot of like spiritual stuff that goes on. I would love to do that, and that's gonna happen. I'm claiming it. But yeah, Hawaii was different. Hawaii was different, and it taught me a lot about myself and about like what I want out of this life, and not even just that, but like how I want to be. That's it. Like, I remember from my tattoo video, you guys asked me what the meaning of this one is. If you guys don't know, I have a spider web right here, and it has no meaning to me, like really whatsoever. I could really make one up, but it's a spider web. I just like it. But at the top it says ethereal, and I think that right here I'm gonna get being, so it's like ethereal being, because I really like that word. It'd be the simple words that tell you the most about yourself. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to update y'all, but kind of just like update me at the same time. And I feel like through me updating myself, I am updating y'all. So I know, because a lot of people can also relate to what's going on. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know your recent revelations, because I would love to hear them. I hope that everyone is doing well. You know, I heard about the Delta variant, and I actually thought that they were talking about Delta 8s. So for a good minute, for a few weeks, I thought we were talking about weed. But I really don't be paying attention. Like, I really just be being, and that's it. Like, that's it. But yeah, please check out my website, Brown Girl the Brand. Like I said, everything has my poetry on it, and I know you guys are fucking with my poetry. One shirt says, "Here I have cried you a river to drown in," and the other says, "I will no longer cut myself in half to make another feel whole." We are about to sell out of our sticker packs, so hopefully you'll get one by the time this video goes up. But other than that, yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and comment, like, subscribe, same as always, and you guys will see me in the next video.